All right, guys. So today, I know we've all been waiting for this book. We've been waiting for everything to happen with this book. We really didn't know what was happening with it, but I'm glad that it came when it came. So we're going to be talking about Midnight Sun, um, the long-awaited Midnight Sun. First, we're just going to get into, the cover of the book. This pomegranate is great. I love the detailing. I love how HD it looks. Um, how just real it looks. I like the Midnight Sun. I like how it's all lowercase letters. It just looks good, aesthetically pleasing. That was me taking off the cover here. But yeah, so I've really gotten into the book. Read the first chapter, First Sight. So far, I'm into it. I was wondering how she would make it seem together with Twilight. I understood that it would be from Edward's perspective, but I didn't know if it would be like Edward's perspective before meeting Bella, or would it start out like Twilight when she arrived to the school, and that's kind of what it did. It gave his perspective of basically him, getting to school and um, oh, well, first, guys, spoilers in this. Spoilers. But we're just here to discuss the first chapter. You guys don't forget to subscribe, comment down below. Let's get to a conversation about this book. I plan to do chapter by chapter. Um, I just think that we're all interested in this book, and I think it'll be great to discuss chapter by chapter of what we think. Um, yeah, so, like I was saying, I feel like Edward, it starts out of him just really expressing about school. He hates school. If I was, him, I would hate school as well, because going through school that many times, I would be definitely over it. So he just goes through just explaining his many voices that he hears through people's heads. He's hearing from people that there's a new girl in school, everybody is just excited for her to be there, basically. I like the way that it was described of, him really struggling at first with, all the voices in his head, but now he's gained, some sort of control over it, which is great. It explains his, perception of his siblings, um, which was also great. A lot happened in chapter one for me. I feel like it was a lengthy chapter, which I liked. I loved how it went into Edward just being in the cafeteria. The scene from Twilight where they're in the cafeteria and Jessica is explaining to Bella, everything about the Cullens and everything. But it's great to see and to read his perspective of not being able to hear Bella's thoughts, and how frustrating it was for him. He was very curious on what was going on. Um, Not so much of in like of her, but the exact opposite of I hate her. I hate what she's doing to me, or almost like it. Who is she to, do this to me? She shouldn't be able to do this to me. Which I liked. It was honest. It wasn't like immediate, like, oh, I love her, I'm meant to be with her. No, it was like a real feeling of, what is this? I hate it. I don't like it. Get her away from me. I want to kill her. But it was like a appetizing wanting to kill. So like he wanted to kill her because he thirsted for her so much. The detailing of her walking into the classroom, having to sit beside him was incredible. I feel I feel like it was very detailed of everything he went through with smelling her from across the room as she walked in front of the fan, um, her sitting beside him, still not being able to read her thoughts, and distracting himself by really distracting himself by plotting to kill her, um, on ways to kill her, and the which ways would work out best for him, um, which is what got him through the hour of class. You know, um, we also see a moment that we didn't get to see in Twilight of Edward leaving and going to his car and kind of taking that moment to really gather himself. Um, we had no idea that he did that, which I think is great that we now can see. Um, he had to take a moment to really get himself together because he could not make it through the day. And then it proceeds to him going to the counselor to see if he can, switch his classes. And I think this part really opened up to the personality of Edward and how he really leans into his powers. So, he, can hear thoughts, so he can hear that, this counselor or this assistant is interested in him, but she, thinks that he's too young for her. But he leans into that to try to get his way, which, I mean, hey, you like it, I love it. But I think that was very important when it came down to viewing his personality. Um, it shows kind of who he is, what lengths he was willing to do, or what lengths he was willing to go to get out of that class. It shows that too. It shows the urgency of him wanting to get out of the class. When getting the opportunity, or when not getting the opportunity to switch classes, um, I feel like the book really showed that he he was able to be polite throughout his frustration, which was great. He still thanked her for trying to help, but he didn't know how he was going to get through this. Right after that, it was the end of the day, so it was time for them to leave school. So he met back up with his siblings to the car. Um, Alice had a vision. Well, firstly, no one knew what was happening. Alice was too focused on Jasper because Jasper was struggling throughout the day, trying not to kill everyone, basically. Um, we all know, if you read the books, that Jasper struggles the most controlling his thirst. So that's what she was focused on. But little did she know, Edward was struggling, probably just on the same level as Jasper, trying not to kill everyone in his class. Um, but she has a vision that Edward's going to leave. And so he decides, to leave. Um, but he didn't know that he was going to decide that yet. But of course, Alice can see the future, so she knew. Um, but when she said that, his thoughts kind of changed, and she had another vision of Bella dead. That was another possible choice or decision that he could make. But she just, encouraged him as Alice would, as we think that she would, which was great. Um, that he would make the right decision to not murder Bella, how it would leave Charlie so sad, and that he would make the right decisions and choices. Um, but it leaves off at Edward leaving. Didn't really say anything to Carlisle. Um, he just left, really, and that was really, like kind of an overview of chapter one. Um, which I think it was great. It was a great first chapter introducing us to what it's gonna, what it's gonna be like throughout the book. Finally being able to access Edward's inner thoughts, seeing what he was truly going through, sitting beside Bella, anticipating her arrival, just what was, we were thinking it, well, I was thinking it while reading the book. I'm like, what is he going through? Reading Twilight. He has to be going through just as much or more pain than Bella was because, I mean, she was just nervous. She was, she didn't know what to do. She was more of just nervous being around him. He was literally trying to fight back the urge to want to kill her, but also trying to figure her out in that way too. So I think that was just a great first start to the book. And I'm super excited that this finally came out, but I plan to go chapter by chapter. You guys don't forget to leave me comments. Share your thoughts on the first chapter. Let's talk about it. Yeah, I look forward to reading you guys' comments, and I will catch you guys next time.